People, Deluded, I'm back again. Good morning, and I hope you're all doing well and safe this Wednesday morning. Obviously, Arsenal play against, who are we playing? I've actually forgot now. Norwich City at home later on today. But over the last few hours, I'm pretty sure you're waking up to a number of reports. Positive news in relation to Saka and a new contract. David Ornstein, Mkhitaryan's well, more or less completed a move to Roma in all but name. It's a bit of an interesting move. And the topic of this video, William Saliba. Now, I've spoken at length about him just this recently. Our coach Arteta said he's been speaking with him in relation to next season, and he signalled how he wanted Saliba to stay at St Etienne to see out the campaign. Obviously, they've got a cup final against PSG. Difficult to imagine them beating PSG, but you never know what could happen in a final. Napoli beat Juventus, and for Saliba, obviously this would be his first sort of significant chance of winning silverware in his career, and he deserves to be a part of it. So to find out that even Arteta wants him to stay, and you know the club, us being Arsenal and them St Etienne, cannot come to an agreement, it is disappointing. Now the bulk of it is apparently, you know, he's played 16 times. If he plays 17, Arsenal have to pay 2.5 million. You could imagine Husfami and the finance men don't want him to go and do that, people. And I would say, as much as it is sad for Saliba and things, I do think, you know, if St Etienne really wanted him to play, they should forego that 2.5 million, because, you know, if he goes in, as much as I want him to play, and from a sporting perspective and purely a football perspective, like I always say, he should play. But if he goes and gets injured, apparently there's no financial backup for Arsenal. And to be fair, St Etienne, throughout the whole negotiations for William Saliba, you know, made it difficult to bring him. They were very hard negotiators. They insisted he stayed another year. So it's almost giving them a dose of their own medicine. Obviously, it's unfortunate for Saliba, and, you know, I guess to play devil's advocate, could be contempt from his part with Arsenal already. But at the same time, he'll have to get over it. He signed a 4 or 5 year deal, whatever, at Arsenal. You know, at least the coach Arteta wanted him to play. He can take it up with management. Arsenal are fully within their rights, to be fair, away from the fact of it's Saliba's first chance of a trophy and all that. They're within their rights. If St Etienne don't want to waive fees or pay whatever Arsenal are demanding, then it is what it is, sort of thing, people. Apparently, William Saliba had been training for several days with Claude Puel's group and was obviously very enthusiastic about the idea of finishing his time in green with such a match. Alas, the English club imposing absolutely unacceptable sports and financial conditions. So, I mean, it's not really unfair, you know. Forgo your fee. You know, Arsenal need to be covered if he's injured. What in the last ever game where, you know, ironically, he could get injured in that game, be out for the majority of next season, and Arsenal would still have to pay 2.5 million. So you can probably see Arsenal probably thought about this, help us out a bit, either waive the fee or do something else, and they didn't want to. Obviously, St Etienne are a team in need of money. They released a club statement. It said, you know, St Etienne was pleased that Mikel Arteta was ready to leave William Saliba at the disposal of the club until the final of the Coupe de France. St Etienne, which simply wanted an extension of the initial agreement until July the 21st, could not find an agreement. Now, obviously, it's not going to be the same agreement. You know, conditions have changed in relation to the COVID stuff, so things are going to change. It seems like Arsenal, you know, could have allowed him to play, could have gave him a bit, but it does seem like St Etienne are equally as bad, and I feel most Arsenal fans are just going to see this and see, you know, we're not allowing Saliba to play, we can't do nothing right. When, do you know what, the club is fair, people. He's on 16 games, and if he started, Arsenal has to pay 2.5 million. So, I mean, at a time where we haven't got finances and the COVID stuff has changed, we were planning for that already, but things have flipped on its head, people. It really is as simple as that. I feel sorry for him, but if St Etienne don't want to come to an agreement to allow Arsenal to protect themselves as much as they want to have their player available, then what could you expect? The only sympathy, I don't really care for Arsenal versus St Etienne. The one thing I'm mindful of is, you know, if money can be put on the table, things change, but I don't want this to potentially damage any future relations we have, because, you know, they might get another promising centre half or a promising centre mid, and they might make it tough for us to negotiate. I do sense that it's a bit of Arsenal getting revenge on St Etienne and making it difficult, in which I can't disagree with them doing that. The only sympathy I have is for Saliba, because again, he's been affected from this. He's played in the cup, you know, he's been there, and you know, it would have been a perfect sign off if they won. It'd be a fantastic experience for him, win or lose or draw. Hopefully we come to some agreement with St Etienne, but at the end of the day, the way it stands, Saliba will not be able to play any part, and you know he can't play this season at least. You know, I think he can train at London Coley and things, but he can't train and be eligible for games. So it is what it is, man. I mean, his manager wanted him to play. Many of us fans wanted him to play, but for one reason or another, you know, St Etienne and Arsenal have not been able to come to an agreement on the initial loan agreement, which was to end July the 24th, apparently, people. So yeah, man, conditions have changed. It seems like both parties don't really want to find a resolution. I mean, the cynicalness from Arsenal, we probably just don't want to pay that 2.5 million if he makes a certain amount of starts. So if they probably waive that fee and sort us out, if in the event he was to get injured, he'd be able to play. And if St Etienne really wanted him to play, why would you not waive that fee? But it is what it is, man. We'll see what happens. In conclusion, people, I'm just upset for Saliba. I'm wary of how this might damage negotiations between us and St Etienne in the future going forward. But excluding that, you know, there's more pressing matters to speak about. There's more important things. You know, we're playing Norwich. We need 3 points. What do we need 3 points for? I don't know. Simply just to win, because we're not getting top 4. But it's what it is, man. Hopefully there's some agreement that could be put in place. If not, Saliba won't be playing in that cup final. But for now, it's always a pleasure. DG.